All right, so check this out. Late last night slash early this morning, Donald Trump thought it was a good idea to go on a social media posting spree. Nonstop garbage coming from his social media account. He was conducting major foreign policy. He was insulting countries and their leaders. It was just a total disaster, and it all happened while we were all asleep last night. So I want to show you some of these posts that Donald Trump was letting fly early this morning. Before I do so, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. I appreciate all of the amazing new people joining us. Make sure to drop a like on the video as well, comment some American flags, some hearts as well, and let's dive in with one of the first posts I want to show you. At 12:29 a.m. this morning, Donald Trump posted, quote, "Wow, Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada." And this follows countries like Great Britain and France announcing their intentions to do something similar. Now, I guess Donald Trump is upset with Canada recognizing that there are some just awful, heartbreaking, terrible things happening, not only in Palestine, but also, of course, in the Middle East at large right now. I mean, regardless of your political affiliation, we're seeing these photos, these videos, these stories coming out of the Middle East, and they're truly heartbreaking. So Canada is saying, well, we're going to do our part to address this. That's what Canada's saying. And Donald Trump's response, instead of saying, hey, you do you, you're a sovereign nation, he's saying, oh, well, actually, now we don't have a trade deal. Now we, in the American people, the people of Canada, are going to suffer because I don't like what you did. It is the most selfish negotiating tactic that Donald Trump employs, and he does this all the time. He puts himself before the American people. That's what he's doing right here. And what I find especially ironic about this post from Donald Trump is that, just keep in mind the time, 12:29 in the morning, 3 minutes before he posted this, he put this out on social media. Donald Trump, deal maker in chief, 12:26 in the morning. So 3 minutes after, then he says, oh, well, actually, because Canada's doing this, we can't make a deal. So if Donald Trump is upset with Canada recognizing that awful things are happening in the Middle East right now, and that means they can't strike a deal, then Donald Trump's a pretty crappy deal maker, right? I mean, if that's the impediment to getting something done between these two countries, and Donald Trump is holding that grudge, then I don't think he can call himself a deal maker. He can call himself a man-child stuck inside this unfortunate body, but deal maker, certainly not. Like, how does he not see the irony here? How does it just fly over his head, where one minute he's calling himself a deal maker, the next he's saying, yeah, actually, I'm not interested in making a deal anymore. It's just so crazy. And this was all taking place at 12:30 in the morning. What lunatic is doing this at 12:30 in the morning? I want to show you another post where he insulted both India and Russia in the same post. This happened at 12 in the morning last night, and he said, quote, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the USA do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way and tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory." Now, there's a lot of factual mishaps in this post. One being that India's economy is not failing. We actually do quite a bit of business with them. Now, Russia's economy is a little bit more shaky because thank you, Joe Biden, for putting sanctions on them for invading Ukraine and getting the Western world to do so. I digress. We can thank President Biden for that. But India, we do quite a bit of business with them. Actually, I looked this up beforehand in preparation, and in 2024, we did around $130 billion in business with India. I'd call that quite a bit of business. Donald Trump, I guess, does not agree. But as I mentioned, I mean, he's conducting foreign policy in the middle of the night, insulting these two countries, but also threatening the former president of Russia. He's doing this because Medvedev has ramped up his attacks on Donald Trump recently, given everything that's happening with Ukraine. And now Donald Trump is saying, well, he better watch himself. So threatening the former leader of Russia. Not sure if social media at 12 a.m. is the time and place to be doing this. But Donald Trump, I guess, thinks so. I guess now, in the middle of the night, early in the morning, is the perfect time to threaten two countries and talk bad about their economies and things like that. Yeah, this guy has no idea what he's doing, if that wasn't already abundantly clear from his disastrous presidency. And these actually didn't happen. These next two posts I'm going to show you didn't happen in the middle of the night last night. They happened way earlier in the day, kind of early in the morning. This one, I believe, was around 7 a.m. But I just want to show you two of these posts. This one was actually 7:01 a.m. I was right. I want to show you two posts that he reposted. So he didn't post them himself, but other accounts on Truth Social, these random MAGA fans did, and he amplified them. Just take a look at this first one, where it calls for martial law. That's right. The president of the United States is reposting something that is demanding that he declare martial law. It is a photo of President Lincoln, and it reads, "Sanctuary city mayors are defying federal law. They are insurrectionists, just like the Southern governors during the Civil War. Donald Trump should declare martial law in those cities, arrest the mayors, appoint military governors, and restore the rule of law, just like I did." So I guess MAGA believes we're in the same circumstances that we were during the Civil War. I mean, you can't fathom the stupidity here, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the president of the United States reposted this on his page for his hundreds of millions, tens of millions, however many followers he has, for all these people to see. Now, this is concerning, and like we should all be outraged that the president of the United States is doing this. It's disgusting that he's amplifying posts like this, but I would also argue that these things are a distraction from the Epstein files. Notice how he has Epstein kind of completely absent from his social media page because he doesn't want me or you talking about them. He doesn't want these major developments discussed. So in my view, Donald Trump reposts these kind of outrageous things to get our attention away from that. And I would argue that we should focus on two things at once. Not only is the president engaging in authoritarian behavior by saying, hey, let's declare martial law, but also he's doing this to distract from the Epstein files, and we, the people, still deserve honesty there. I think two things can be true at once. Here's another one that he reposted from an account called MAGA America's Ambassador, whatever the hell that is. And it's a photo of Trump, and it reads, "It's time to indict Obama, the traitor for treason." This is, once again, this whole Obama thing that he's come up with in the past couple of weeks, as we've talked about on this channel, is another distraction. I mean, Obama didn't do anything wrong. He's just accusing Obama of doing something wrong because he's been caught with this whole Epstein file thing. But in this was, I believe, let me just make sure. This was at around 7 a.m. when he reposted it, I believe. Yeah, when he reposted it, it was around 7 a.m. So in two different posts, we have Donald Trump calling for martial law, reposting something calling for martial law, and then also advocating for Obama to be indicted for treason for no reason. Authoritarian behavior to the highest degree. I mean, that's kind of Donald Trump's thing these days, where he just posts whatever, no matter how outrageous, he doesn't care. But insane that he was doing that at 7 in the morning yesterday, and then followed up with all these weird late night posts attacking Canada, attacking India, calling himself a deal maker when obviously he is not. And if you just scroll his social media page, you can see a bunch of just slop. I mean, that's really what it is. Like, for example, he cited this Breitbart headline where he says, "Trump reaches historic deal with EU, Europe to buy $750 billion in U.S. energy. This increases tariffs on the American people. So taxes just got raised for all of us." And then he brags more about the tariffs, saying July tariff revenue breaks monthly record with $150 billion collected so far in 2025. That is, again, a tax raise on the American people. He was just posting all of that in the middle of the night last night. It is so insane, but I just had to cover it for you. I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. There's much more on his page, but can't do too much of Donald Trump at once. It really fries your brain. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, as I mentioned. Let me know what you think about the story and these posts. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.